everyone. Welcome to another episode of Taking Up Space, a Michelle A. Mayer podcast. Always excited about coming forward, y'all. Today I'm coming forward with a new device. So if I look a little different to you, it's because I'm having some issues going on over here, y'all. And just like anything else, I'm water. I'm a water sign. So one thing that's synonymous with water signs is that we always make a way. We don't like a lot of change, but when change happens, we are fluid and we can move with the change. So that's what's going on here today. So hopefully all will work well with this camera and I will be able to upload this video. Today I was wanting to speak to what program do you have running? What program is actively running in your mind? What is guiding and directing you, the real you, in your daily interactions in life? I saw something on social media about the word Israel, and I don't really need to get all into detail with that, but it brought me to this place of programs. I don't know where spirit was leading me and why, but it did. It led me to a place of thinking about active programs that we have running along the script of our minds. And friends, these programs that we have running distinguish what comes to us and what is repelled from us. They are our mantra. They are the statement of our lives. They are who we are. They're at our core, these programs. Absolutely. In order for one to really move in power in life, I have come to find out that you must have balance within yourself. There must be some sort of inner harmony going on within the dialogue that you have within yourself. You must feel solid. You must feel capable in order to withstand certain things that will come upon you in this life. Because there will be things that will come upon you to test that which is internal. That internal thing that really is at the core of who you are, without you even knowing it. You won't have any power to defend yourself against it. The only power you have is the power to distinguish what that thing is. And you would have needed to have that already hammered out before that thing comes upon you to test you to see what it is. And that's what I want to speak to today, because I believe that this will be essential for many people in building themselves up from the inside out. Declarations and mantras and establishing them within the cadence of your life and programming your mind to accept them, and not only accept them, but to show reverence to them as if they are a reality, because they are, is extremely important. I did a podcast episode yesterday that I wasn't able to upload. It was about Adam. It was speaking to the state of affairs of Adam. Adam is in a dire place, y'all. I look forward to uploading it. I thought to redo it on this phone, but I'm just going to stick with what I have. So be on the lookout for that. But in that podcast episode, I spoke to when Adam and Eve were in the garden. Well, when Adam was in the garden, and after God had created all of the earth, Gaia, God created the earth, the feminine, before everything. He created the earth so that she could be the foundation that all life would that would support the existence of all the life on this planet. And then God created the beasts and the birds and the plants and the trees and all the different things after God created her. And then after that, God created Adam. And then after God created Adam, God said, well, Adam needs a helpmeet. Surely I have given him this woman already that was in existence before him, which is the earth, but she's not a helpmeet for him. So God decided to create Eve. And in creating Eve, God put Adam to sleep. Adam wasn't privy to the creation of Eve. He doesn't know what went on nor how God did it. But he knows that when he awoke, she was there in front of him, and that he had been genetically altered to be able to receive her effectively. And he was so happy. Adam, the man that God ordained to manage the things of the feminine, the earth. Before this Eve was created, God had Adam in the earth, and God was there to manage it and keep it. Remember? Manage the garden and keep it, and name all these things that were already of her. This is her stuff. God gave Adam domain as the manager, the protector of all these things. And Adam begins naming all of these things. And then God decides that Adam needs to have something else, because God said it was good. And God then sees that Adam needs something else. And God says, okay, we will genetically alter him. We will edit our original creation of him so that he can accept Eve, his counterpart. And God creates Eve. Adam then wakes up, and voila, Eve is there before him. And what does Adam do? Adam names Eve, just like he named everything else of the garden. He names her. And he declares things over her. He makes a declaration. This is where I'm going to with this program analogy. Adam declared on his own. God didn't command Adam to do it. Adam, using the God aspect innately within him, his own self, and invoking his divine will, declared who Eve was in his reality, and declared who she would be from that point on for all the generations. This is the only time we see Adam doing this in the entire Bible. Only time. Adam openly acknowledges the need for Eve and how pleased he is to have her. And he declared, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man." Declaration number one. Then Adam goes further and says, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." That's a declaration. So I don't want to get too deep into that because I did a podcast on that I'll be uploading. But these are important aspects that we must recall. And we use biblical examples to show the power and the necessity of them. These are all declarations. What Adam did was declared a thing, and he declared it in a way that he went about life acting as if they were true, because they were true to him as a declaration. And this declaration exists even till this day. All of the children that came forth from Adam and Eve would adhere to this declaration. What declarations do you have within your life? Have you created any openly, consciously, rather? I don't know why I said openly. Have you created any consciously? Because I'm here to tell you, whatever you declare you are that. And declarations are extremely powerful, friend. They guide and direct your life. I could recall a time when I was driving. I had a van, a Sprinter van, and I would do expedite a logistical work. I had a company that would do expedite logistical work, and I was driving for myself. And I remember driving through Tennessee, through the Appalachian Mountains. I never forget it. I was driving down a long road long road. I could see far ahead in the distance. It was it had hills and valleys in it, and I was driving. And I can remember it now how beautiful the day was. And I'm just leaning in on the steering wheel, kind of like leaning in, driving, because there wasn't really any cars on the road. And I had these beads. I have my beads still, and I have my beads and my grandmother's beads. And I just began declaring things over myself, the same declaration. It just came to my mind while I was driving, this declaration. And I grabbed my beads that were on my dashboard, and I grabbed them and I began declaring them one after the next. And then once I got to the end of the bead, I would begin again declaring it all down this not winding, but this road of hills and valleys. Until this day, that declaration is solidified in my mind. Never would I have thought at that time that I would need to pull that declaration forward and use it to help me get through traumatic times of my life. But this is the power of God. God will lead you to a thing that you need to do right now that will be useful to you years later. When I was driving in Tennessee declaring these things, that had to have been almost 10 years ago. Yet it would come into prominence, these declarations, 5 years later, 6 years later. And these are the things that I want to bring to you, because the goal is to attack the mind. The enemy's goal is to always come for your mind. The enemy will not come for you physically. He will. The enemy can come to you physically, but a physical attack then goes into the mind. It rests as trauma. The enemy comes to attack your mind, to make you doubt yourself, to make you feel as if you are not standing on solid ground, to make you feel as if the boogeyman can step out of the shadows at any minute and pull the rug from up under you and attack you and unalive you and do all of these different things. And your ignorance of these things will give the boogeyman the power to do so. The ignorance of you not knowing what is a transition, what happens when you transition, what the ignorance of you not coming to terms with the fact that we're all going to transition. And now you're fearful of it, makes that thing a power against you. It is a monster that you will avoid. But when you face these things and you come to terms with them, you have no enemies within. You have, like King Solomon tried to do, you have now faced your demons and named them and made them to serve you. They don't frighten you. You use the power that they invoke to do positive things for you, to serve you. The enemy's goal is to attack the mind. And attacking the mind, it weakens the spirit. It's to break your confidence, to break your spirit, to break your knowing of a thing. Whether it's the knowing of God or the knowing that God will protect you, or even the knowing that you are standing in alignment worthy of God's protection. It'll make you doubt. And then, if not corrected, if allowed to fester, it attacks the God within you. Because all these attacks are all done to attack the God within you, that God power within you. They need it. And you have it in abundance. Yet what God will do, like he did with Elijah, friend, when he sent Elijah to those prophets of Baal to wage war against them, God will send fire down from heaven in your own mind. Electrical impulses of God, of the program that you have told yourself, your truth. Your program will come like electrical impulses to your mind. It's immediately when the enemy comes to attack you. After you get that initial blow, that initial attack, and you realize that there's an attack, of course, fear steps in. But then you get that electrical impulse that remembers, and says things to you like, no weapon formed against me will not ever prosper. Not in this life and not ever. I got to clear the space. Let me balance things out. I know it seems chaotic, but let me remember. I don't know what's going on up in here, and I don't know who sent this, but no weapon formed against me will not ever prosper, not in this life nor in the next, not ever. Now that we've gotten some order here, what exactly is going on? It's like that. But you've got to have the program going already on deck, ready to be activated and made manifest on arrival to come to your defense. And this is why, you guys, I can't even speak this enough to you. These are all fundamental things that you can do to build your internal kingdom up. You can look strong and you can go out to the gym and lift weights and all that kind of stuff and do all of that. That's great. But if you haven't built your internal kingdom up, you're weak. I can lay you down easily. I'm telling you, if you're only strong on the outside and you got all the supplements and you're doing all the stuff to get that body strong and this and that on the outside, but you haven't invested even half as much time in building your mental kingdom up, because all is the mind, friend. You got some spiritually powerful people running around here that look like a skeleton. They're sitting on mats in India with what do they call them when they wrap the paper, when they wrap the fabric around the loins? A loincloth on. Looking anorexic. But they are spiritually powerful, friend. They've gone places no man has gone to yet. In the mind. It's all mental. I woke up with this on my mind. I'm telling you. I woke up with this on my mind. These are gifts. So I encourage you today to begin implementing programs within your own mental kingdom to fortify you, to strengthen you. Declare things over yourself. This is your power. You got to look at it as an exciting animation. You get to build your own kingdom up your own way to your own unique likeness. So that when the enemy comes, and he will come, friend, he will look to attack your kingdom, and he will find that your kingdom you got a strange kingdom. I've never experienced a kingdom like this. I find strength in the most unassuming places in your kingdom. There's no area of your kingdom that I can actually come in and penetrate. It seems like I can. I can get so far within your kingdom that it seems like I'm actually winning. Only to find that I've got nowhere, because you've taken the time to pay attention and to build yourself up from the inside out. If you think a person looks good on the outside and they're mentally powerful and they adhere to what I'm saying, could you imagine what their internal kingdom looked like? Strange fruit. Strange fruit, friend. This is my word for you today. You're loved more than you'll ever know, y'all. I'll never stop telling you. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Peace and love.